Chevrolet parking lot in the International compound?
Chevrolet.
Wow.
This will surprise you. Neither are runners.
What? It ran great when you parked it, right?
Yeah.
What kind of used car salesman
Yeah.
are you? Trying to feel out Bill and then feel out the vehicle as well. At the beginning of every project, obviously the condition of the vehicle is always the most important thing to me. Yeah, this one's pretty hammered, sir. It's,
Well, I bought these together.
Oh.
I loved this one, and that kind of went with the deal, and I thought maybe some parts were needed or something.
So this is a 54, right? I recognize
Yes.
this grill. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like it too. When I saw this, it reminded me so much of when I was a kid, raised on a chicken farm, and we had one very similar to this. I have really great memories of it.
Bill's telling me the story about this pickup truck and, you know, his childhood memories. You know, he's got some passion for this thing before we even lay a hand on it, which is great. Bill's whole concept for this truck, you know, he loves the stock paint. He just wants to modernize it. It's got to be rock solid driver, and I got a couple ideas to just get it right out of the gate. If you want to reinvent the wheel and go super crazy, we can modify this chassis, but, you know, like we did with the Ranchero, you're like, never really handled well, never stopped well. We're in the same predicament with this.
Exactly.
The TCI makes a chassis specifically for these years' trucks. And it's a freeway machine. I mean, it's proven. If you want that rock solid deal, why not just do that? Well, we can focus on the more creative aspect of this.
You know, I really wasn't thinking about a complete chassis. Ian has always steered me in a way that it's a little uncomfortable for a moment, but he always pulls it off, and I always love it at the end. I didn't realize they made all of that, where you could just, boom, bolt that on.
Yeah.
Sounds good? Do it.
Bill tells me, do whatever you want, and, you know, I sign on, so, okay, I got ideas. You know, let's start hashing this thing out. Looks like we got good potential with this green truck. He's also got the parts truck in addition to it. I say let's just get this thing in the shop and get to work. Once it was decided that we're gonna upgrade the entire chassis on Bill's old truck, I went straight to TCI. They've got the hot ticket. Hey man, how's it going?
Good, Ian. Nice to finally meet you, man.
Good to be here.
Welcome to our home.
You got quite a setup. I can't wait to see what you got going on.
Let's take a look around.
Cool. TCI is a parts fabrication company. In addition to suspension components, they make chassis, all kinds of subframe kits, complete frames, rolling chassis, you name it. What's going on here, man? The engine's in the wrong place.
Trying to put as much weight on the back axle as possible. It's going to be twin turbo, so the nickname for the truck is C-Twin. It's going to be a little bit on the extreme side. Roughly about 1,000 horsepower this will make.
Nice.
I kind of took charge of this build a couple years ago, and I don't think they ever assumed that it would go this far.
I love the brackets that hold the turbos. You know, everything is just nice.
I mean, we've all watched the show. We've seen some of the crazy contraptions that Ian's come up with. You think up an idea like you, and you run with it. That whole firewall I made, the more I watch this show, the more confident I get. So I'm not a sheet metal guy. You know?
You are now. It looks good to me. Looking inside the truck, it's like, hey, that's something I would do. With Jason's setback engine design, you're completely cutting out the floor of the vehicle, so it was a really simple solution to take this Astrovan engine cover to make a airtight seal. I'm not sure really where his mind was at during this process, but I'd say he full custom nailed. This looks familiar.
Yeah, so
It's a
this is a
Model
little
A.
Model A, yeah. Full functioning shop, man.
You ain't kidding.
Well, here's your chassis,
Oh, wow.
ready to go home with you.
That looks a little more developed.
We had the chassis assembled and ready to go before Ian got here. A little bit of a surprise.
Adjustable coilover, four-wheel disc brakes.
Yeah, Ride Tech coilovers front and rear.
Oh yeah, look at that sway bar in the back and in the front.
Throw some wheels on this thing, load it in the trailer.
Now this is what I'm talking about. You saw what we were working with on that pickup truck. This looks like a race car. You know, you see pictures in a magazine or a catalog, it doesn't do justice. Like seeing this thing from a plate of steel to this, that's heavy duty. Thanks again, man. This is exactly what the client needs to see. I'm excited to just roll it home.
I'm excited to see this truck finished.
This chassis swap is the game changer. I got a bunch of ideas I want to bounce off Bill. Just got to get this chassis back to the shop and go to work. Out with the old, in with the new. This chassis is at Bill's, and it's time to take this truck apart. My plan on disassembling this is cut everything off that we're not using. The body's free, the bumpers are free, but you see it's all still together. It's stuck. So I'm gonna try to use the persuading tool. I have a lot of tools, but on the top of the list, you know, caveman technology, it's kind of my ace. Bill wasn't really specific about what he wanted, except that he wanted it to look old. So my whole plan here is to fool everybody into thinking it's this junky old truck. But underneath, it's like a tale of two cities. The good, the bad, and the ugly. This client, you know, the last project I did with him was a hit. Did some weird stuff, used some shopping cart corrals, and he loved it. I don't know if we're going that route with this truck, but we're gonna do something interesting. My whole challenge here is to retain some of the old stuff and fit in new stuff everywhere else I can. You know, I got a couple other tricks to try to make it look like nothing else happened.
Hey, Ian.
Right on time. Good to see you.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, I got all this stuff separated. You know, the chassis here, I think we can take this apart and put it right on right now.
I love it. I love it, love it. It's just fantastic. Well, Ian was very correct, as always. This chassis, I mean, it's perfect.
I feel like if you can get your forklift in here, we'll be able to take this whole body off. We'll get the bed separate, but we'll leave the fenders and everything attached. Then I'll take out the back window and we'll be on our way. As a driver, this thing's gonna be fitted with all new glass, all new window seals, and you know, it's my duty, it's my civic duty to shock and terrorize the client at the beginning of every project. I can use a little finesse at times also. It's the oldest trick in the book, the ATC tire shim technique. Raise her up. One thing I keep forgetting is that this is an antique vehicle, and it actually had a foot starter button. Told you there's always something else. Fire at the beginning of a project, perfectly acceptable. Fire at the end of a project, no bueno.
You're burning all the insulation.
I told you, we're short-stepping this whole process. Manual said raise 3 feet and disconnect the generator wires. I'm gonna check the oil pressure. Check.
Ready to rip?
Rip it.
What is that I hear clanking?
It's like childbirth, man. There's gonna be some pain. Bill's got people. His helper, Martine, is gonna be working on this project with me, and he's coming to help me lift the bed off.
Ian, this is my friend Martine.
Howdy.
And when I need a strong guy,
Well, good.
there he is.
All right, let's take this off and stand it up. There you have it.
Perfect.
There's your comparison. Wheel to wheel. It's almost an identical match, but look, it's all boxed. You see how strong these cross members are? There's a clear difference between what you had and what you got. Putting these two chassis side by side, you can really tell the difference. You know, the old school leaf spring suspension, the straight axle on the front, you know, it's purely utility truck setup. And this new thing, it's all race car. Oh, right away you could see that this is gonna be the theme. We're mixing new and old. I can relate to that because I'm an old guy with a young guy's brain. I used to have hair. Groovy gravy.
The stance is just what I was hoping. I know exactly what I want to do on the tires and wheels.
I know exactly what I want to do on the top. I'm gonna chop that thing.
Chopping it.
Looks like Bill took my request for an extended lunch break pretty seriously. He's nowhere in sight. So while I'm in my domain, let's get this chop on. Challenge here is to keep it real subtle. Like when you look at his big roll-off truck, it's mellow, his Ranchero, et cetera, et cetera. They've all been radically changed, but when you look at it, you kind of don't really know what was changed. He's got this hot rod chassis underneath. It's not an old farm truck. I just wanted to give it a little more of an aggressive appearance. I'm not really sure how it's gonna pan out. You know, sometimes I'll just go into a project, cut it all apart, and then figure out how to put it back together. But my new mode is subtle and thoughtful. That's 2 middle names. So, I'm gonna take a little extra time thinking it through. Pickup truck looks like a baseball cap. And if you look at that and you look at the truck, that's it. So, you know, if you're wearing your hat like this, it gives one kind of a look, right? Some guys flip up the bill, et cetera, but I want it to be like kind of like down, you know? Kind of like all business. So, you know, you can wear your hat any way you like, or you can shop your truck any way you like. We'll see. Why am I wearing a Puerto Rico hat? The way I was brought into this is learn the rules, master the rules, and then break the rules. Throw them out the window. I just act like I don't know anything at the start of every day. I learn how to tie my shoes, I learn how to brush my teeth, and then I figure out how to chop a top. Chop top is not a set of rules, it's the simple lowering of the roof line. I figure you can go and draw any line you want through that thing, as long as it's a chop top. I'm subtle, 1.5 inches in the front, and a whopping 1 inch in the rear. So look at that, see? A little 1/2 inch down, it's 1/2 inch lower in the front. Now it's not that flat top baseball hat. See how the drip rails in the windows are just going just a little bit. That's a good call, Ian. I'm glad you did that. Thanks, Bill. That height looks good to me. I'm stopping with those dimensions. But, you know, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing this. And we got a couple issues to contend with. And there's where your problem is. Every chop, if you keep the back in line, the front is not in line. And vice versa, right on down the line. You see, when you line up the front, here's where the issue is. You got this big step. Nobody likes looking at a mismatch like this. I think I got a remedy that will remedy the remedy and bring it all together. I got a problem, I got a couple ideas for a solution, and no time like the present to try out some new ideas. You see, when you line up the front, here's where the issue is. The typical formula is you cut through the center here and extend it that much. But I don't want to do that. I want to give this pillar an angle. Starting off the rear portion of the cab with the simple flat sheet, so I tack welded the entire perimeter of the rear window skin into place. So the glass is still flat, but the cab has just a much rounder feeling in the back. I didn't mess up the paint. I got away with something. But we're not out of the woods yet. Bill wanting to retain this old paint, I'm leaving it all in place. I'm just gonna go very gingerly around the painted areas and put in as little new metal as possible. This is the trickiest part of the whole thing, getting these little pie cuts in. As it cools, it wants to collapse. So every time I weld it, pop it back into shape. You gotta go slow, just keep giving it the massage. Got all these tacked up. It's gonna be a lot of welding, so while it's cooling down, then you get onto these door tops, and that'll seal the deal. So now you get a real good illustration of how much it's chopped and how the pillars have changed. Not radical, but definitely different. Looks like my new middle name of subtle is really sticking. You know, this chop could lead off a whole new avenue. You know, I could just be shaving door handles for the rest of my career. So all that cutting that went on in the roof now has to transfer into the shape of these upper door frames. The challenge with this is that there is glass in there, so it's all gotta line up. So those pillars have to be perfectly parallel. You know, you can't do that with a piece of glass. Probably wondering how I'm gonna do that. Me too. Pie cut this pillar and the door and line them up. We got shop inspectors. That's what I get for not bringing the dogs. Now we got this guy. Some days we got cats. Now we got, what is this, a squirrel? I guess the shop is a little nuts at times, but this is taking it to a whole nother level. Hey, you with the fur. What's going on here? Can't get away from these animals, man. It was a brief visit, but a time has been well spent. A few final trims and we're in business. Now, the good thing about these open pie cuts is with that trim that goes there, I won't even have to cut that. I could just go blink, bend it, and it'll look so smooth. Same thing here, it'll hide all that work. So I'm only body working 1, 2, 3, 4 little slivers. Seeing this with the door tops in, that's what I'm talking about. I'm gonna weld this up, do the same to the other side, and just get a lot of the tedious welding done before Bill gets here. I can't wait to show this to Bill, and I've already got a few ideas for some custom stuff on the front. Got the chop all wrapped up, and here comes Bill.
Wow, did it again.
There's your chop top.
Another miracle.
Well, guess how much it's chopped?
1.5 inches, 2 inches?
Well, yes, both answers are correct.
Oh, different. Oh yeah, look at the slope.
I raked it.
Subtlety.
I like the subtle chop. You know, it's appropriate for Mr. Bill and his needs.
You gotta love it. It looks better than the factory. That's the way GM should have built it.
That's what I'm always saying, man.
Yeah.
Glad to see Bill's happy. You know, my new middle name just might be sticking. Old Subtle Roussel. His wild ideas were cool, but man, that's subtle, smooth. So this is pretty much nailed. The grill is a whole other issue. Unless you want a big smashed in nose, you know, I can repair it, but it's always gonna be different.
Well, you've been chopping, I've been shopping.
Uh-huh.
So let me show you something.
A wizard with words. Oh, wait a second, that's no junkyard piece.
No, sir, that's a catalog buy.
Oh, a repop, okay.
Yeah.
This is a really nice piece. I didn't expect that.
I just thought the front is kind of, it just needs a little bit of something. And I think maybe Ian was like, whoa, here comes the house of chrome in here.
Let's just stick it on there and see what we're working with.
Okay,
Inside the shop, it's like a disco in there, man. Look at that.
it's pretty shy.
I'm not really saying anything to Bill, but you know, looking at the chrome on the grill and the chrome on the truck, you know, just bolting it on could create a pretty substantial mismatch. You know, I'm looking down into this grill, man, and there's me looking back at me. Yeah, that is a step in the right direction. And you say you got a chrome bumper to match.
I do.
I feel like it outshines the whole rest of the rig, you know?
It is a lot of chrome, I do agree. But I don't know.
The old grill is pretty smashed up. I'd consider it unusable. The new grill is pretty darn bright. Down in my bag of tricks, I think I might have a solution. Sometimes maybe A or B isn't the answer. Maybe it's A and B. A little less chrome, a little more of the old paint that you love. You just got to figure out how it all goes back together. First step is to remove the top bar from the old painted grill and try to straighten it. Depending on how damaged this old grill is, will depend on how much of the new grill will be utilized. Trying to bring this ridge right back out. You can see how low it is. I'm making every effort to avoid heating it up because I'm trying to keep the old paint in place. If you just keep banging something against a flat surface, it's gonna get flat. If you bang it against a curved surface, guess what's gonna happen? The name of the game here is no rules, you know, whatever it takes to get this thing back in shape. See that? It's almost there. The old top bar is looking pretty straight. It's all a matter of how it lines up with this new grill. That does something. The good news is the straightened upper grill fits with the chrome perfectly. The bad news is we're not out of the woods yet. This is exactly what it needed. It seemed like the truck cab with all its character just kind of stopped and they put like a, you know, like a mask on the front of it. On a lead sled, say a 49 or 50 Merc, a lot of times the body color will surround the chrome entirely. So I'm gonna try to detach that one and then somehow fuse the bottom lip of that grill as well. That way the old patinaed color really shows the shape of the front of the truck. This is exactly what I was hoping for, you know, a little old, little new. Just like the chassis swap, you know, the look of the thing has to be upgraded as well. Because that's what he asked for, an old green farm truck. Too much chrome's gonna just outweigh the old patina. I think you're just gonna call the tow truck if you get a flat tire. You don't need an old truck tire hanging on the side of the rig. Just taking this off and smoothing that out so you don't have the big dimple in the fender. This one was kind of easy to talk him into. You know, he wasn't really married to the concept. It was pretty much a, hey, I want to do this. Okay, do it. And this will be real simple too, because your parts truck will just cut a section of the fender off of that and just patch that in, smooth it out, and you're done.
I sold the parts truck. It's gone, Ian. Sorry, I didn't know you were going to use that.
Well,
Here.
that was the plan 10 minutes ago.
What?
One day it was here, the next day it was gone. Case closed.
Guy came with money waving at me.
Okay.
So,
It just complicates things. Let me come up with plan B. Dome shapes like this are a little bit difficult to create. You could have been easy, you know?
no.
As usual, I've got some ideas. Just need a little alone time. I'll work it out. First thought process is, well, it's the wrong way. It's backwards. What if I put it rightwards? I wonder if I couldn't just put that on upside down. That ain't gonna work. Not getting out of this one that easy. I'm just gonna form one by hand. I know Bill's got a lot of stuff. I don't want to use new steel because that's so much of a contrast. This looks like that. Perfect. Making this out of a flat sheet with limited tools is a little more involved. You know, you have to stretch the metal pretty specifically, pretty controlled, with basic hand tools. I got this whole setup from Eastwood. It's a leather sandbag. It's full of sand. The idea is when you hammer on it, it gives a little bit. And then I got all these plastic hammers from Eastwood as well. And if I had a formula, I would explain it, but I don't. Let's just start hitting it. You can only either stretch or shrink metal. I only have the opportunity to stretch it, smooth it out with the English wheel, fit, repeat. Repeat performance of the old soft shoe technique. I don't know about you, it's starting to look like a piece of a fender to me. So the benefit of using the other fender from the parts truck would have been that panel will just sit right in place. What I'm running into is the same issue as with the chop top. I created a panel and it's not an exact replica of the fender, so I'm gonna have to make a vertical slice similar to what I did on the back wall of the cab to get this to fall into place. Once I got all welded and ground down, it's exactly what I was hoping for. That's my business, the old subtle crisis solver. That's that. Literally, first time I ever did that. As with all the welding on this, it's gonna need refinement and touch-up paint. So I got into the factory paints a little more than I was hoping, but hey, it looks good, I'm gonna own it. The virgin barn find scenario. This isn't really that, but we're trying to make it look that way. There's gonna be a bunch more little dent and ding removal that I'll work out on this bed. The cab's coming in next for some cancer repair. This truck is a driver, and I'd call it complete. Completely subtle. That's a good looking rig, man. Walking up on it, it's got the stance, as a hot rod truck should. The whole theme with this was a little bit old, a little bit of new, and that's harder to accomplish than just the spoken word. The chop top, the chassis swap, mixing all that up and still having it present as kind of a barn find classic truck, it was a challenge. All it needed was everything.
The steering wheel's original.
That's true.
Once Ian finished his work on it, Martine and I got busy with a lot of little things I don't really know how to express. I think it's my favorite build.
You know, that TCI chassis, that's the game changer. This thing, it's not a ranch truck.
No.
It's kind of like ranch dressing on a race car.
Yeah.
Patina really sells it as that vintage work truck Bill was looking for, but everything else is cooler. The 17-inch rims with those low-profile tires sells it. It looks fast.
The overall look of the truck is exactly what I wanted. You know, I like kind of the stock look, but with just a little bit of change. You look at the few little pieces of chrome we added, the tires, the wheels, the little chop, and you go, that's not just drug off the farm. I was very concerned when you said, I'm subtle on this chop. I went, oh my God, he's not subtle.
There
He's
goes the
everything but
neighborhood.
that.
It was an interesting choice that Bill made in letting all the work show. You know, the weld seams are simply painted over to stop it from rusting, but you know, it works. It's like it's clear as day where I cut it, right? Somebody's gonna be like, nice truck, and another guy's gonna be there like this.
Yeah, exactly.
Something doesn't make sense.
I like it. I'm sure some people are gonna say, when are you gonna paint this? That's the way it is.
See what this baby can do, man. It's what this has all been leading up to. The easiest chop top I've ever got into. You know, the TCI chassis under it makes it a real street machine. This thing is built to boogie. Oh yes, there we go. It's not your grandfather's ranch truck. This is why your neighbors put up that slow down sign, now I know.
It's impressive, isn't it?
This is impressive. It's not even a pickup truck anymore. This thing is a road machine.
Yeah.
Bill was really surprised. You know, he is old school, right? So he's been in a lot of custom rides, and he's mostly really responding to how smooth and fresh and new it feels. You know, a lot of these older trucks, you step on the brakes and it goes off the road, right?
This one is straight as a die.
This is perfect.
It was a lot of fun to see Ian and have him drive the truck the first time. Ian's not often impressed with anything. As he was driving it, the response of the steering, the brakes, all of it, he was like, whoa, this is nice.
You gotta check this out. Driving a truck's one thing, of course, but hey, this is a bit of a showpiece, in my opinion. I wanted to see how it looks coming down the lane. Just what the doctor ordered. You know, the way the front tires fit in the fenders, when it steers, you know, the bumper height to the ground, and Bill's idea to keep the green paint was perfect. It's got the stance, it's got the drivability. For a daily driver, this truck nails it. Hey, you want to race, Grandpa? Some kids never grow up.